Christina, Universe Citizen presents New Era Religion, Episode 49, Part 2, May 19, 2022, Alternative Experiences. My experience of it thus far relies on Bucky Fuller's integration of geometry and philosophy during New Era evolution anticipatory concerns with manifesting a true democracy. Awareness of this realizable potential requires comparative bases from more than one resource, while not depending on academia's philosophical mentality, which I would not have given any thought to until the comparison became so obvious that the hidden intentions are clearer coincidental to the disseminated news of the predominantly influential authorities. In particular today, as I start anew, is the Lex Friedman interview with Roger Penrose for one, and glimmers of tidbits from variously tuned-in content that is disseminated via YouTube channels and David Barton's book, Original Intent, The Courts, the Constitution and Religion, and news events that arrive from one day to the next. Factually, if religion, morality, and knowledge are necessary for good government and the happiness of mankind, which was an expectation of ordinance correlating to statehood and organic laws from 1789 mentioned in Original Intent, the world we live in would be living proof of these premises. However, since then, many partially overlapping generations of humans inherited the detrimental, inaccurately inadequate term religion, morality, basing authorized nomenclature in those false premises. An ordinance is defined in Oxford University Press Dictionary as an authoritative order, a religion rite, a by-law. The etymology of ordinance is Old French and from Latin, arrange, ordain. These words clearly veer toward inculcating education practices and away from charting alternating experiences of man and nature from Bucky Fuller's Total Thinking, 1949. In the world of species, humans of a mind, our evolution species, may possibly comprehend our individual significant experience of all universe only when we start with universe, not with religion, morality, and the self-ordained God's subconscious, ignorantly fearful cautionaries, coupled with the dreadfully punitory threats, offering rewards in this and the afterlife as the alternating generation redundancies. From R Buckminster Fuller and Milton Eisenhower Lecture, Johns Hopkins, Baltimore, October 3rd, 1973, in quotes, "The norm of our charts is no change at all. That's the basic ordinate," end quote. Where and when is no change. It must be all the generalized metaphysical discovery of whichever classifies the objective more economically as eternally changeless. All the physical components are ever environmentally transforming within the definition of universe as a scenario of non-simultaneously only partially overlapping events. Not only are people afraid of change, they cling to the most erroneous nomenclature expecting omnirational coherence. Henceforth, instead, we ought to consider integrating geometry and philosophy, as did R Buckminster Fuller, when he discovered a single conceptual system that provides a common language and accounting for both the physical and the metaphysical. Religions typically discredit metaphysical, primarily because conscious awareness of the generalized content of disseminated information systematically rejects false premised schemes. This means, as the evolving human mind recognizes evolution, intellect's consciously knowledgeable competence is closer to eternity, and the eternal omniscient mind's self-regenerative, generalized principles. Such intellectually satisfying awareness is ever in search of the generalized models, the conceptual models, such as the vector equilibrium as the model of exact balance, and the tetrahedron as the minimum thinkable sets, structural integrity patterning of the generalized universe. In Synergetics 411.36, humans can read to learn that there is individuality and magnitude change. From this, we can learn of the energy losses and gains of systems that is occasioned by the continual variations of omnidirectional approximation. As well, it is of omni-variability of expansion and contraction system accumulating rates. So, there is a degree of freedom phenomenon rate as well as a terminal condition. Therefore, metaphysical intellect as a function of the eternal omniscient mind's universe easily can recall there is a lag rate between apprehension and comprehension, which Roger Penrose seemed oblivious to, where the degrees of freedom come into the metaphysical generalized conceptioning fields of systemic thought. A single conceptual system that provides a common language and accounting for both the physical and the metaphysical was discovered by R Buckminster Fuller subsequent to his integrating geometry and philosophy, Synergetics 251.50. New era humanity's awareness of this discovery logically can refer one's individual consciousness evolution's knowledgeable systemic thoughts, anticipatory design, science, projections of a true democracy with this system in mind. The experiential-experimental potential realization of such a common language and accounting cosmically informs our humanity's anticipatory responsibility. It differs critically from the inherited inclinations that assume precedent-setting politics, religion, justice, the PRJ, of the PRJWBCS, politics, religion, justice, war, belief, complex schemes, supersedes. Universe is self-regenerative, energetic-synergetic structural integrity. Our critical thinking in this regard coincides with intentionally, omniconsiderately, and omnirationally resetting the world stage by declaring the local environment of systemic thought wholly, W-H-O-L-L-Y, relevant to system awareness. This means metaphysical intellect, as a function of comprehensive universe, recognizes the generalized universe essential, and from which the disseminated generalized content of information derives. The generalized content consciously includes the eternal generalized principles that have been discovered by physicists and mathematicians who likewise commence local problem solving individual economic initiatives with universe thereat. The minimum thinkable set's regenerative energy, synergy, structural integrity is wholly, WHOLLY, relevant to the most economic way systems behave relative to unity and self in universe. This seems to offer our local problem solving a way of operating without the inherited frustrations and futilities of the PRJWBC schemes. Our 21st century New Era systems thinking directly refer thought and language to the equanimity model, which happens to be universe's model of exact balance. It well may be critical to any reaction and tendency to implode or explode. If so, then those reversible forces in the conceptioning field of thought provides fulfillable self-disciplined expectations during the composed mind's referentially active writing process. This means to say that consciousness evolution's local environment's metaphysical, generalized conceptioning field of thought already knows and is aware that the hexagons as average angular stabilization may be in conjunction with omnidirectional, omnirational closest packing of unit radius spheres. If so, it is an omnidirectional, omnirational, referential reality basis. Logically, in generalized principle, the eternal referential energy synergetic pattern integrity is not directly or inadvertently omitted, as it traditionally is, when the PRJWBCS devised superior positions to expound illogical importance, misidentifying its belief complexities as systems. By so doing, irrationally based corruptions are promoted, as misinformation is extensively manifesting. In turn, this corruption potential becomes increasingly more obvious as an underlying detrimental self-other destructive eventuation that causes self-delusion in seemingly random acts of destructive disruptions. To various extremes thenceforth, the disruptions expect the PRJWBCS to fix the problems, to calm the outcries. But how can the PRJWBCS fix what it caused to have happened in the first and subsequent places? Displaced people on any degree of scale are interfering with self-other's thought language environment. The tendencies of it expect precedents to provide essential wisdom. Yet those highly valued philosophical inputs at an earlier time and place were not aware of universe's vector equilibrium model as the generalized universe's model of exact balance, which is also the empty set tetrahedron, the minimum structural system, and conceptuality of the minimum thinkable set, cosmic logically correlating to all our alternative experiences. Thank you for your undivided attention, if that happens to be the case, and continued curiosity and interest in this important research project, which anticipates manifesting a true democracy. Relevant links are provided at the end of this video podcast.